The Los Angeles Dodgers are making headlines once again, and this time, it's a blockbuster move that could shake up Major League Baseball. Reports are swirling that the Dodgers are closing in on a deal for a Toronto Blue Jays superstar, and if this happens, it could change everything. Is the deal done? Who's involved? And what would this mean for both teams? Dodgers fans, get ready, this could be one of the biggest trades in franchise history. Stay tuned as we break down all the latest details, rumors, and what's really going on behind the scenes. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We've got some breaking news coming out of Major League Baseball, and this one is massive, especially if you're a fan of the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers, already one of the most dominant teams in baseball, are once again making headlines as reports are swirling about their potential move to land one of the biggest superstars from the Toronto Blue Jays. That's right, the Dodgers might be on the verge of pulling off yet another blockbuster deal, and today, we're diving deep into everything you need to know about this situation. First off, let's talk about why this move is even happening. The Dodgers have been aggressive all offseason, and after some key departures and a disappointing end to their previous campaign, they're looking to reload in a big way. Los Angeles is always in win-now mode, and with the level of talent already on their roster, adding another superstar could put them over the top. But why the Blue Jays? And who exactly are we talking about here? Well, all signs are pointing toward none other than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. That's right, the Blue Jays' powerhouse first baseman, one of the most electrifying hitters in all of baseball, could be making his way to Hollywood. Guerrero Jr. has been a key piece for Toronto, but with the team at a crossroads and contract negotiations looming, the possibility of him being moved is becoming more and more realistic. The Dodgers, being the aggressive front office that they are, have reportedly inquired about a deal that would bring him to Los Angeles. Now, let's break this down. Why would the Blue Jays even consider trading a player of Guerrero's caliber? It all comes down to the business side of baseball. Guerrero Jr. is approaching a crucial point in his contract situation, and with the market for superstar players skyrocketing, Toronto may be hesitant to offer him the kind of long-term deal he's likely looking for. The Blue Jays have a lot of financial decisions to make, and if they feel that they might not be able to retain him beyond his current deal, trading him now while his value is at its peak might be the smartest move. So, where do the Dodgers fit into all of this? Well, they're one of the few teams in baseball with both the financial flexibility and the prospect capital to make a trade of this magnitude happen. The Dodgers have consistently built one of the deepest farm systems in baseball, and they're not afraid to use it to acquire elite talent. They've done it before, and they're clearly willing to do it again if it means putting them in a position to win another World Series. If this deal happens, it would immediately shake up the entire MLB landscape. Just imagine Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in that Dodgers lineup. We're talking about a lineup that already features Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and now potentially Guerrero. That is a nightmare for opposing pitchers. Guerrero would likely slot in as either a first baseman or designated hitter, giving the Dodgers another elite bat in the heart of their order. His ability to hit for power, get on base, and drive in runs would make the Dodgers an even more dangerous offensive team than they already are. But let's talk about what this deal would actually look like. If the Blue Jays are going to move on from Guerrero, they're going to demand a massive return, and rightfully so. We're talking about a 24-year-old slugger with MVP potential. The Dodgers would likely have to part with multiple top prospects, and maybe even a young MLB-ready player, to make this deal work. Names like Bobby Miller, Gavin Stone, or even Miguel Vargas could be involved in a potential package. The Blue Jays would be looking for a combination of pitching and young offensive talent to make up for the loss of Guerrero, and the Dodgers are one of the few teams that can offer that kind of return. Of course, nothing is set in stone yet. There's still a lot of speculation around whether the Blue Jays are seriously considering moving Guerrero or if this is just an exploratory discussion. But one thing is for sure, the Dodgers are in the mix. They've been linked to multiple big names this offseason, and they're clearly looking to make a splash. Guerrero Jr. would be a dream addition for Los Angeles, and if the front office feels like they can get him at the right price, they won't hesitate to pull the trigger. Now, let's talk about how this move would impact both teams. If the Dodgers land Guerrero, they immediately become even stronger World Series contenders. They already have one of the best lineups in baseball, and adding another young superstar only solidifies their dominance. But for the Blue Jays, it would mark a turning point for the franchise. Trading Guerrero would signal a shift in direction. Whether that's a retooling or a full-on rebuild remains to be seen. It would also put a lot of pressure on Toronto's front office to make sure they get the right pieces in return, because moving on from a player of Guerrero's caliber isn't something you can afford to mess up. One of the biggest questions surrounding this potential move is whether Guerrero himself would be open to it. Players develop strong ties to their teams and cities, and Guerrero has been a fan favorite in Toronto since he made his debut. But at the end of the day, baseball is a business, and if he sees the Dodgers as a team where he can win multiple championships, he might welcome the opportunity with open arms. Playing in Los Angeles, under the bright lights, with a roster stacked with talent, could be an incredibly appealing situation for him. There's also the financial aspect to consider. If the Dodgers make this trade, you have to believe they're doing it with the intention of keeping Guerrero long-term. That means an extension would likely follow, and with the way the market has been trending, he could be looking at a deal well north of $300 million. The Dodgers have shown that they're willing to spend to win, and locking up Guerrero as a cornerstone piece for the future would make a lot of sense. Of course, as exciting as all of this sounds, we have to ask the big question: is this deal actually going to happen? As of right now, talks are still in the early stages, and while there's real interest, nothing is finalized yet. The Blue Jays are going to weigh all their options before making a decision, and other teams could potentially enter the mix. But the fact that the Dodgers are seriously involved tells us that this is something to watch closely. If you're a Dodgers fan, this is the kind of move that could define the next decade of the franchise. If you're a Blue Jays fan, this is a nerve-wracking time, because the possibility of losing a superstar like Guerrero is never easy to process. No matter what happens, one thing is certain: this is one of the biggest stories in baseball right now, and it's only going to get more intense as things develop. So, what do you guys think? Should the Dodgers go all in to get Vladimir Guerrero Jr.? Would this be the right move for the Blue Jays? Or should they do everything they can to keep him in Toronto? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I want to hear from you. Make sure to stay tuned for more updates, because this story is far from over. If anything new breaks, we'll be covering it right here on the channel. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss